ni mwamba wangu, ngome yangu na mkombozi wangu. Mungu wangu, mwamba wangu ninayemkimbilia ninapohitaji kuwa salama. Zaburi 18 mstari wa pili. Zaburi 18 mstari wa pili. Dial *811 *817 hash. *811 *817 hash.
The referee said it's a penalty. He said it was a handball and he's given a penalty. It did touch his hand. It's absolutely spot on. Njue has the chance for the penalty spot to sink Serbia. Njue steps up. Stojkovic goes the wrong way and Ghana are going the right way. The deadlock finally broken with 6 minutes to play, and Ghana have the lead. Some kind of freedom, and that is that. And Milan Rajovac, against his home nation, will not celebrate the victory, but those in his team will. Ghana 1, Serbia 0.
Bana jo. Zomo tote.
Na mbona wanaongea vitu za uongo ati mimi niliiba? Wewe, kuna pesa yako yoyote imepotea hata wewe uko na pesa kweli?
Hapana mama, hakuna pesa yangu imepotea na mimi niko na pesa.
Na mbona unakuja kusema ati pesa ilipotea, sijui mwizi yako kwa nyumba? Mimi nakuanga kwako.
Before ujibu. Mimi sina rauo, sina simu. Napatikanaje kwa mchweche nikitoa maafiri?
Sasa wewe
nitajibu sana
maswali atajibu gani ya wache gani?
Interpret for me. Naweza kuwa nasema ujinga.
Unaniita mjinga mimi?
Anauliza ikiwa amesema yeye hapatikani kwa hiyo M-Pesa. Anaweza kuwa anasema yeye anasema ujinga.
Na ananiambia mimi niko na ujinga.
Hakusema wewe.
Ananikichapia imbu wenye aje. Kwanza mimi si mimi. Unacheki? Si radi umdenge. Naweza kuwa nasema uanga.
Mimi ni wewe, si ndio? Kurada ni kujua. Ujue msijana? Wewe anajua yeye, nyinyi ni friends.
Umejuaje?
Said I'm fired up. I'm sorry your time's up. I see the top and I climb up. Came from the ashes, I rise up. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down.
Kakamega mpo. Stesheni uipendayo Ingo FM inakuletea road show ya mwaka katika kaunti ya Kakamega, Ijumaa tarehe 4 na Jumamosi tarehe 5 Novemba. Tarehe 4 Ijumaa tunazuru Mumias, Matungu, Shianda, Navaholo, Malava, kambi ya Mwanza, Lurambi, na tarehe 5 Jumamosi tukutane pale Kakamega, Hayega, Malinya, Bukura, Huisero, Mulwanda, Sabatia, Ekero na Mumias Town. Kutakuwa na vichekesho na burdan dosha. Pia utakutana na kikosi kizima cha watangazaji na waenzi wa Ingo FM. Usikose.
Radio Ingo, ingini ya Mwitala.
Kakamega na yefu bwana.
Your entire personality is built around your bottoms. Wiggle it just a little bit. So now young ladies don't even want their age mates anymore.
Wanatafuta wababa.
Wanatafuta
sasa wababa.
Sasa wanarudi kama mbaba yuko na school fees.
Kila mtu anataka kuwa na Bentley.
There are serious things now around surgery wrong, yes. And then the idiotic, your bottom line is your song is so bad that to make people interested in it you have to
to use your backside.
Again, yes.
You see, where are the brains?
Yes.
Where are the
hidden somewhere near the bottom.
Good afternoon, you're just in time for KBC Lunchtime News on this 27th day of October 2022. An auspicious occasion just concluded at the head of state, where the head of state has just completed his presiding over the swearing in of cabinet CSs and also the Attorney General and cabinet to the secretary to the cabinet. We have more, this and more, in our bulletin. This is what my colleagues and I have been preparing for you this day. My name is Njue, and Susan Thuku will be our sign language interpreter for these live newscasts. Remember, we are live on all our social media spaces. And indeed, we begin in State House, Nairobi, where President William Ruto has pledged to support his support to cabinet secretaries in working towards transforming the country. The president has, however, warned the cabinet secretaries against running the ministries on whims, saying the constitution and rule of law should be the guiding principle. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony of the 24 cabinet secretaries who took the oath of office on Thursday, the head of state challenged the CSs to focus on delivering to all Kenyans in equal measures and avoid regional and community affiliations.
Upon which we were elected by the people of Kenya. Again, to all of you and your families, congratulations. Pongezi. Pongezi sana. I want to say a couple of things, just by way of welcoming you to my team, my good deputy here, and to assure you that in the discharge of your duties in the various ministries that you will be serving, you will have my wholesome support. You will have my support because you have no option other than to succeed. Failure is not an option. We have a country to look after. We have a plan to implement. And we have the people of Kenya watching us. So you will have my unqualified support so that you can succeed, because in your success is the success of our administration and the success of our country. So from day one, I want to promise you my support. And the second item I want to say is I have listened to you very carefully as you took your oaths of office. And
I, Penina Malonza, being appointed a Cabinet Secretary of Kenya,
do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Republic of Kenya, that I will obey, respect, and uphold this Constitution of Kenya.
I look forward to listening to you and your advice so that we can manage the affairs of our nation, because even though I stand here as president, I do not have the monopoly of all knowledge. I expect that you will enrich the plans, the thoughts, the programs and the plan we have with your advice. The third thing I want to say is that while listening to you take your oath of office, let me repeat again, you have been appointed and you have sworn that you have been appointed to the Cabinet of Kenya. I know there are regional persuasions, there are community persuasions. I haven't appointed any cabinet for any region or for any county or for any community. I have appointed a cabinet of Kenya. I expect you to respect your oath of office and serve all Kenyans equally.
And now to another story touching on the cabinet approvals and appointments. Long-serving Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Joseph Njue has officially exited the public service. Njue formally handed over office to his successor Felix Koskei, a former cabinet secretary, on Thursday morning at State House, Nairobi. The career civil servant said he was honored to serve 4 administrations. Njue has been in the public service for 44 years.
Your Excellency, sir, with this singular last act, I hand over the mantle of coordinating the public service to a new generation of civil servants. I thank you and your predecessors for according me the privilege to serve in 4 successful administrations, notably the 2nd, 3rd, 4th administration, and in your position. It has been a profound honor and a humbling journey. I'm immensely grateful that I was accorded the rare opportunity to serve Kenya and to serve the great men chosen by the people of Kenya to be the presidents of this country and lead it. With your kind permission, sir, permit me now to invite my successor, Mr. Koskei, to progress the day's program. Asante sana.
And now the cabinet is fully constituted, waiting for the principal secretaries. And now, back to work. Away from that, a section of women in Kitengela, Kajiado County, has allowed the National Assembly for approving the nomination of Penina Malonza as the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism. The women urged the 13th Parliament to be on the forefront in promoting the agenda of women. They also called on the Kenya Kwanza administration to consider appointing more women to senior positions. Malonza is among cabinet secretaries who were sworn in today at State House, Nairobi, in a ceremony witnessed by President William Ruto.
Na tuko na furaha siku ya leo. Jana tulishushika moyo sana wakati tumesikia Penina amekataliwa, lakini kwa leo tuko na shukrani kubwa sana kwa serikali, kwa president wetu na pia kwa mbunge kumuidhinisha, na tunasema asante.
Mimi nimefurahia sana kwa uongozi wa wamama. Wale wamama wamechaguliwa kama Penina wasiende kulala.
President William Samoei Ruto, tumekuomba kwa hiyo nafasi umefanya. Kusema kweli hatutawaisahau. Twaomba Penina wengine muamuke na mushikane na wamama wale wengine tuweze kufikia hiyo kiwango.
Moving on, the government is keen on ensuring small-scale business women access to financial assistance. Speaking during the commemoration of the implementation of Business Incubator for African Women Enterprise, Trade Principal Secretary Kirimi Kaberia said lack of proper bookkeeping and collateral continues to hinder women from accessing loans from financial institutions.
The Business Incubator for African Women Enterprises BAWE program, funded by the Spanish government, has seen 35 women trained on value addition over a period of 3 years. Speaking during the commemoration of the successful implementation of the program, Trade Principal Secretary Ambassador Kirimi Kaberia said in the past, access to cheaper loans, especially for small-scale business owned by women, has been tedious.
From here, they get the initial training on how to process, package, market, and all that. Once they finish that, there is an opportunity for them to get up to 20 million. Because all the SMEs that apply or qualify from here are eligible for up to 20 million at the Kenya Industrial Estate. It's very competitive because cumulatively you end up paying only 6%, whereas the commercial rates are double and more than that.
Kenya Industrialization Research and Development Institute Management says the program has equipped emerging women entrepreneurs with skills to flourish within any commercial and organizational setting.
Women, there are many young women entrepreneurs. We selected them from different regions of the country, and most of them are between 30 to 40 years old because that's the cohorts, and that's where we've got a big challenge with unemployment. So most of them who we were able to pick, we took from that particular cohort, and all these women were training them on a wide range of technologies. There was dairy products, cereal processing, fruits and vegetables, and also honey.
The value chain right from the farmers in the rural areas, buying their products, value adding those products and looking for market and exporting those products. I want to say that it goes beyond just the manufacturing and value adding to supporting the rural people who are the basic producers of this fresh produce.
Beneficiaries lauded the training, noting that they have been provided with better business and legal knowledge relevant to the market.
Training actually makes you understand the processes of actually being an entrepreneur, be it doing from getting your resources from the farmers, be it you actually washing and getting to understand the, how to cut, because in my company, African Natural Products, we supply dried fruits and vegetables and also herbal teas and juices. So with this, I'm able to actually understand the procedures, what is needed for these juices to be made, what is needed for these fruits to stay in the shelf life on a longer term basis. These are aspects that need to, for you as an entrepreneur, you need to understand the dynamics on how to grow your business, and so that it, instead of it being a short-term business, being a long-term business.
For Lunchtime.
Let's now shift focus to matters conservation, where Samburu County Deputy Governor Gabriel Lenengwesi has appreciated residents who voluntarily moved out of the Kirisia forest in Samburu County to pave way for conservation. Lenengwesi spoke during celebrations in the forest following the awarding of the Community Forest Association by the government of Italy for being among the leading counties in forest conservation. The community was further sensitized on the need to continue spearheading conservation efforts for the benefit of current and future generations, especially now that the country is facing drought.
We will collaborate, we'll give our best through helping our forest rangers, providing them with available resources, providing a secure environment, providing civic education to our community around the place. And the most important thing is I should appreciate and commend the Samburu community for voluntarily coming out of the forest without any duress, without any force.
Sasa ni jukumu letu pia kutunza Kirisia ili uzazi ujao na wale wengine ambao hawajazaliwa wakute hii msitu jinsi ambavyo wazazi wetu waliweza kuhifadhi.
Now, the Kenya Private Schools Association is having a stakeholders meeting in the lakeside city of Kisumu as it seeks members to ask members' views ahead of the presentation by the CBC or to the CBC task force that was formed by the president soon as he took over the reins of power last month. Let's now, first of all, cross over to Kisumu.
You don't have to worry. You just have to be creative. You just have to be able to sit down and analyze things in the way it is. That's for high school. When we go to high school, we are not worried. Because this guy is our teacher. If you are a science teacher, science will remain science, whether it's KBC or it's state level. The questions they said will always remain the same, they will always twist them. But we must be able to twist them. But some of us want to look for things which are not there. So we must be prepared. There is going to be no value added addition in your school if you are not creative enough, if you are not researching enough, if you must be researching. There must be a department in your school for research and development. You know, starting a school, I keep on telling people, is not like opening a butchery along Okikodinka Street or Continental Street. You go look for a weighing machine, you go to the habitat, buy a piece of cow, come hang it there, double 1 kilo, 2 kilos, and you are releasing it. This is different. This one, you are dealing with people that tomorrow are supposed to be leaders. You must think leadership. You must think tomorrow. You must prepare to do well. And preparation is not like you must get expensive things. I like teachers because they say, use what you find within your environment. There is creativity. There is a group here who want to create journalism in our schools. I will be sending them to you. Don't look at them as expensive people. Create journalism clubs in your school. Tell parents to pay for it. Create activities so that it can go to journalism, it can go to dating club, it can go to swimming, whichever. So that you are all rounded. Where we are going is going to be who is offering what. Hello, somebody hear me? The problem with me is that I don't know how to hide our things. And that is what has helped me in life, because what I have, I share. And when you share with people, you will get more. That is what works for me. I don't know about you. And I think now we are talking about sharing. If you only want yours, is just yours, you are always closed, you will not go far. For us, our school is open. You can always come and learn, but you will not be better than us, because if you want to think like us, we will be thinking another thing. Hello, are you there? Yes. So let's be creative in the way we are handling our schools, our students, and you see like a public school, sometimes children ban schools because they could not see the television. What does it cost for children to see the TV for 1 hour? And then you jump with them and they go to sleep. Tomorrow you give them what they want. And the problem with some directors, they are bosses. So we're going to our school, maybe in the evening, and I go to the students, and I say, how are you? Did you enjoy your meal? They say, no. Then tomorrow we will eat. What do you want to eat? Cuckoo. Yes, you will eat cuckoo. So that they don't go right. But
that is one of the stakeholders there at the meeting in Kisumu discussing the competency-based curriculum, and one of the issues that has come up is the issue of cost. And though one of the issues that has been discussed is the use of locally available materials to bring down the cost for parents. Achola Simon is keeping a keen eye on that and will bring us a more comprehensive report on the same. Away from education matters to the current drought situation in the country, where more than 500 families in Libihia village, Mandera East constituency, are set to benefit from an addition of water bowsers as part of drought mitigation efforts in the county. Residents had expressed fears about the safety of the water they are currently consuming.
Who have been trekking for miles in search of water have welcomed the donation, saying it will give them some much needed reprieve.
Tumepata hii maji wakati iko ukame sana, watu hata wamehama upande ya Warangara, oda watu wamehamia huko Fino.
When we talked across the Libihia people, they said they didn't receive any rain across their ward. So this is too little for them, but it is better than none.
In Isiolo, the county woman member of National Assembly Mumina Bunai is calling on the national government to supply enough food to schools to cushion students from the adverse effects of the drought.
Unajua hii ni wakati mgumu sana. Kiangazi imekuwa kali, chakula hakuna, mahitaji ni mingi, hakuna pesa, wazazi wanang'ang'ana kulipa fees, hawataweza kukumbuka mambo zingine.
The drought situation has also been cited as an impediment to the education of girls in the region, some of whom have been unable to access sanitary towels. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Very well, at about 23 minutes past the hour, we are due for a fast break. But on the other side of this break, we do have more news, business, and also sports. But allow me to just appreciate Jepchumba Faith, you're watching from Eldoret. Sami Wainaina, live from Nyahururu. Titus Kip, you say you're live from Thika. Samiwa Mirera, Naivasha pamoja sana. And also Geoffrey Mwangi, you say well represented from Solio, Laikipia County. Let's have that break. And then more news in this after this break.
Your entire personality is built around your bottoms. Wiggle it just a little bit. So now young ladies don't even want their age mates anymore.
Wanatafuta wababa.
Wanatafuta
sasa wababa.
Sasa wanaharibu hata mubaba. Kama mubaba yuko na school fees.
Kila
mtu anataka kuwa na Bentley.
There are serious things now around surgery.
Around surgery,
wrong,
yes.
And then the idiotic, your bottom line is, your song is so bad that to make people interested in it, you have to have
to use your backside
again. Yes.
You see, where are the brains?
Yes.
Where are the
hidden somewhere near the bottom?
At KBC Channel 1, we put people at the heart of events with our captivating weekly news features. Every day, we are breaking new grounds with informative, entertaining, and inspiring human interest stories. On Mondays, 9 p.m., we have The Cabinets. Tuesday, 9 p.m., we get inside the barracks for military tales. We delve in the world of cinemas and theater each Wednesday night. For the young and industrious, make a date with us every Thursday at 9 p.m. Fridays are dedicated for my culture. On Saturdays, we go back in time for history in perspective. And on Sundays, we get to know the process of how things are done and made. KBC Channel 1 News features a whole lot of wonderful viewing experience.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124.
Welcome back. This is KBC Lunchtime News. Glad you're watching. Moving on, Kenya Forest Service officers in Makueni County are still grappling with forest fires that have burnt down more than 500 acres of land in a period of 1 month. Chulu, Katende, Makuli, and Kitondo are among the forests facing the catastrophe. Residents claim the fires are caused by intentional burning of trees for charcoal and in the belief it will also bring them rain.
Speaking at Kitondo Forest, Makueni County, Kenya Forest Service Ecosystem Conservator Evans Maneno, Senior Forest Officer in Makueni County, noted forests are in great danger following continuous fire outbreaks.
Mimi ni muhifadhi wa misitu wa eneo la kaunti ya Makueni. Hadi sasa kwenye hizi misitu ambazo tunachunga, moto umeathiri eneo lisilopungua hectares 515 kwenye misitu za serikali.
Daniel Mutua, a resident, says that they live in fear of attacks from wild animals running away from the forest.
Wakati tuliona hii moto, tulistaajabu sana. Tukapatila tukaona imetoka kwa shamba ya mtu ambaye alikuwa anachoma makaa. Akajaribu kuisima ikamshinda. Wakati huo ndio tukaanza kupambana naye.
Makueni Senator Daniel Manzo says no license will be issued for logging in the county.
Niseme kwamba department ya forest ni vizuri tena waangalie kwa nini misitu inachomeka. Tunajua kuna watu wanachoma makaa huko. Kuna wengine wanapanda bangi kwa milima, na kuna wengine wanachoma ndio waweze kupewa leseni ya kukata miti ambayo inakaa kama haina faida, iwe tengenezwe mbao.
500 acres of forest land have so far burnt down in Makueni.
From Makueni to Kilifi, where a section of the clergy from various denominations in Kilifi County is raising concerns over what they term as a disturbing trend of some elected leaders undermining their opponents who lost in the August general election. Speaking during a county dialogue forum organized in Kilifi to review the polls, the religious leader said everyone who contested had their own supporters and deserve to be respected.
Kufikiria yaliyopita zamani na vile walivyokuwa na ule mpinzani, kwa hivyo atakwenda kinamna ile ambayo atakaye sasa, kuanzia kumuudhi mwingine yule aliyopo. Baada na hapo anasahau hata yule aliyeshindwa na ana watu, na yule aliyeshindwa na asiwe naye anakuwa anashikilia pale ana lazima mambo yende vile anavyotaka yeye na hali amekwisha.
Hatufai kuwa tunazozana kiasi ya kwamba tunaonea mwenzako akianguka ndio unamcheka, akikosa kufaulu ndio unamdunisha, akikosa kwenda mbele ndio unamsimanga. Hiyo kwa kweli religion does not allow that.
Elsewhere, the Ministry of Health has moved to demystify the notion that malnutrition is witchcraft, as believed by some cultures and religious circles. The ministry is instead urging expectant mothers to take supplements as prescribed to them by health workers as caregivers to avert malnutrition.
Speaking during an engagement with environment and health reporters at a Nairobi hotel, Grace Wasike from Neonatal and Children Health Division said nutritious food is key to a healthy life.
They should be taking care of the children and understanding that all food classes are equally important for the body so that the children live, survive and thrive. Because when a mother takes eggs to sell in the market and buys things like mandazi, that is a misconception. There is the classes of foods that we all understand are about protein, carbohydrates, and of course vitamins and minerals.
Immaculate Nyaugo, a specialist in nutrition, said malnutrition and undernutrition have for a long time been caused by the food we consume on a daily basis.
These nutrients of concern are sodium, sugar, and fat. They are all nutrients that we eat on daily basis in our foods, and it has become a burden even to the country to treat the population who are facing the non-communicable diseases, and we can't be quiet. As nutritionists, we have come out to talk about these nutrients so that people should be able to know the dangers and to reduce the amount.
During the sensitization workshop, the National Coordinator for Scaling Up Nutrition, Edgar Onyango, urged journalists to prioritize health reporting and create awareness among the public on major causes of diseases.
Makes it very easy for us to be able to disseminate information, but also for us to be able to pass very critical information to the general public, but also it gives us opportunity to be able to hold the government and other stakeholders accountable for some of the decisions that we are making.
Ruth Wamboy reporting for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, Isiolo County woman member of the National Assembly, Mumina Bonai, has rolled out a sanitary pad distribution program targeting girls in all secondary schools within Isiolo County. Speaking at Mwangaza Girls Day Secondary School, Bonai noted that the crucial hygiene item has been already rendered a luxury in many families as they struggle to put food on the table. The principal, Janice Karimi, echoed Mumina's sentiments, noting that cases of girls missing school during their menses were on the rise.
Unapata msichana hata ni mchanga hajajua hii mambo ya kupata menstrual periods, anapata kwa darasa, anakuja kwa ofisi ajui afanye nini. Lakini sasa tukiwa tumesaidiwa, hata wale wachanga tutawaonyesha kuzitumia na watakuwa sawa, watajua kujipanga.
Let's now focus our attention on matters business. Kenyan farmers are being sensitized on GMO crops so that they can be able to make informed decisions on genetically modified crops. But participatory ecological land use management is advising farmers to practice planned zoning in favor of enhancing food security. The organization is urging county governments to deploy agricultural extension officers to sensitize farmers on GMO adoption.
The government's approval of GMOs is a move that could trigger a major shift towards evidence-based solutions to agricultural production. Currently, organizations are sensitizing the country's farmers to realize the full benefits of the technology that is expected to boost agricultural production. Participatory ecological land use management, which advocates for organic farming, is sensitizing farmers on the difference between conventional farming and GMOs to help them make informed decisions.
We're here with farmers and some of our member organization staff to sensitize farmers on issues of GM. It's because we feel that there is no enough research that has been done on GM food to ascertain that it's safe for human consumption.
The organization says the introduction of GMO seeds in the country should be done progressively to avoid phasing out indigenous seeds.
We are urging extreme caution, especially when it comes to giving GMO seeds to farmers who will plant these GMO seeds discriminately at the cost or at the risk of losing our own indigenous seed.
The government can do zoning of cropping. Instead of growing maize where maize cannot grow, something that can grow in that particular area can be emphasized, and the farmers from that area can benefit from such a crop.
The organization is appealing to the county government to employ more agricultural extension officers to sensitize farmers on the best farming practices. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Those living around Saiwa Swamp National Park have begun planting fruit trees around the wetland in order to save endangered wildlife facing extinction in the wake of the ongoing drought. The Kenya Wildlife Service says creating buffer zones would benefit both animals and those living in such areas and would reduce cases of human-wildlife conflict.
Sustainable agriculture, a concept largely endorsed for Kenya's arid and semi-arid lands, which constitutes about 80% of the country. To maintain the balance, unique ecosystems such as wetlands act as natural reserves, soaking up rainwater and gradually releasing it. In Kenya, wetlands occupy about 4%, approximately 14,000 square kilometers of the land surface.
We
focus so much on the reforestation and afforestation program because of the underpinning roles that the forestry play in terms of stabilizing the local climate change effects. But because also in Africa, they are the carbon sinks, they sequester carbon from the atmosphere.
Experts say with the current climate crisis, wetlands would ensure flood control, prevention of soil erosion, water purification, and nutrient retention. They say inhabitants are leading in the loss of wetlands in other parts of Kenya, fueled in part by increasing demand for land, pollution, and a growing population through urbanization and industrialization, having exposed the country's wetlands to threats of extinction.
For us to be able to sustain these populations for posterity, we always have to work with others in terms of training to ensure that more people are reached with the knowledge of conserving our wetlands.
And if you look at the water, it is brown in color, and this indicates that there is a lot of soil erosion taking place, or the run of water from other nearby farms. And these trees will also assist in controlling soil erosion.
KWS is providing satellite tree nurseries and shrubs, which provide fodder for livestock while at the same time rehabilitating degraded parts of the wetlands.
Once these trees are grown to maturity, we shall have several wildlife coming back. Bird species, besides the cranes, we will also have the turacos, blue turacos, we have migrant birds.
More indigenous trees in the wetlands would contribute to the restoration of wetland basins.
Because wildlife understands or knows no boundary, and each of us must take a responsibility to ensure that our wetlands are protected for posterity.
The efforts are expected to grow tourism in the area. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
Across borders, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced plans to introduce redesigned 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes in a move expected to mark the beginning of a broader currency census and mop up black money. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines from across the continent.
Nigeria's central bank said it will replace high-value currency notes starting mid-December this year in a bid to mop up excess cash, rein in inflation, and target rising insecurity in Africa's largest economy. The country's banking regulator plans to issue redesigned 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes. The old notes will cease to be legal tender starting January the 31st, giving citizens of the West African country where cash dominates transactions 6 weeks to exchange their notes. The Central Bank of Nigeria admitted the concern of a large amounts of money outside the banking system, which is estimated at 80% of the total money in circulation. The move comes even as Nigeria registers more than double in currency circulation, with a sharp rise from 1.46 trillion naira in December 2015 to 3.23 trillion naira as at September 2022. Elsewhere, a new central market in Masaka town, where the Ugandan government injected 18.4 billion Ugandan shillings, is yet to be completed 4 years after the project was awarded to the contractor. Changes in designs and the 2 successive COVID-19 induced lockdowns have partly been blamed for the delayed completion of the project. The new market, once complete, is expected to have working space for more than 2,000 vendors, which is twice the number that was previously working at the old market. Finally, a study by Financial Transparency Coalition has revealed that developing countries are losing billions of dollars due to illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. The findings shows that Africa is the most affected continent, losing some $11.2 billion in revenue annually from illegal fishing, with West Africa losing up to $9.4 billion.
Back home, Kenyans with 5G-enabled smartphones will have to wait a little longer to access the service as provisions for 5G data packages for mobile internet will only be ready by December this year. Communication Authority of Kenya Director General Ezra Chiloba says Kenya will soon launch a 5G roadmap that will see operators take advantage of the potential of the 5G spectrum for the benefit of developing the digital economy. Take a look.
According to the Communications Authority of Kenya, Safaricom has 35 active 5G sites in Nairobi, Kisumu, Kisii, Kakamega and Mombasa. The telco now plans to expand the 5G sites to 200 sites by March next year.
5G ushers in an era of new possibilities, as you'll have heard. The promise of connectivity with low latency and high reliability will enable extraordinary experience for every industry, for every business and for the society.
However, operators have been challenged to move with speed in expanding or improving telecommunications services in rural areas.
Broadband will continue to enable connections that will create more opportunities that will help transform the everyday lives of Kenyans, particularly in a modern economy where new knowledge plays a central role in wealth creation, social welfare, and international competitiveness.
As you know, the reason why we have very low penetration of 5G handsets is because of cost, and we see that cost coming down quite significantly. The adoption of 5G smartphone levels remain low, largely, as I've said, due to high level of the cost of devices. We will continue to work with our partners who sell devices or who supply devices and leverage our pay-as-you-go device financing solutions like Lipa Mdogo Mdogo.
Yeah, 5G being a new technology, we are really working to empower our customers to get it. We have high initial costs now in the equipment that we are getting for 5G, but we're enabling our customers lower this by providing a contract model where a customer can commit to be on the service for 3 years, and we give them the router of the 25,000 cost, so they can get it without that cost.
Safaricom subscribers in 5G ready zones can access a 5G Wi-Fi.
So our initial uptake in the first year, that's up to March, is to make sure we have the 200 5G sites up. For this, we'll be covering 10,000 homes and businesses. So that's the coverage that we intend to take.
Informed by the second national broadband strategy, the government is also currently looking to increase access to broadband coverage across the country. Alan Auko, Lunchtime News.
In sports, Premier Academy are the winners of the 2022 Lyle Shaw Inter-School Junior Golf Tournament that was held at the Par 72 Royal Nairobi Golf Club. This was a second consecutive win, having claimed the trophy last year.
The team of Lee Kimanthi, who carded 79, Junaid Maji with 80, Haishan Samani with 84, and Mitanj Thaka with a round of 91, won the overall title at the 2022 Lyle Shaw Interschools Junior Golf Tournament, played at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club with a team gross of 249. It was a second consecutive win for the Premier, having won the trophy last year in a team of the Kimanthi, Samani and Maji, wherein the runner-up in the main event were Roslyn Academy, who played a team score of 250 gross. Coming joint third were the Oshol Academy Junior High and Crawford International School. The subsidiary competition was won by the Braeside School with a team net score of 159. Channel Wangari played the best gross score of 79 in the individual category. Junior Golf Foundation President Regina Gachora promised that more inter-school tournaments will be organized.
We're very happy today because last year we only had 6 teams, which means we have grown by over 300%. We're happy to see children playing and growing in the game, and these are the future of Kenya golfers, and we believe that in the next couple of years, one of these children will be the next Kenya Open champion.
The Lyle Shaw Memorial Inter-School Tournament is held annually in memory of George Lyne Gordon Shaw, who was the Kenya Golf Union chairman in the year 1953. The venue of the event is traditional Royal Nairobi Golf Club and is held on the last Wednesday of October. For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
And further afield, British number 2 Dan Evans has reached the quarter-finals of the Vienna Open after beating Karen Khachanov in straight sets. Unseeded Evans thrashed the Russian 6-2, 6-2 and will face Denis Shapovalov in the last 8 after the Canadian shocked 4th seed Taylor Fritz 6-1, 4-6, 6-3. Meanwhile, top seed Daniel Medvedev and second seed Stefanos Tsitsipas progressed to the last 16, while number 4 Medvedev crushed Nicolas Basilashvili in the final first round, winning 6-2, 6-2. Medvedev will play fellow former US Open champion Dominic Thiem, who saved too much points in a dramatic win over American Tommy Paul. Interesting names for the Ukrainian and the Russians. Elsewhere, the LA Lakers lost to Denver Nuggets to slip to a 4th defeat in 4 games at the start of the NBA season. The team is among 3 teams without a win this season.
Where the Lakers look for their first win of the season.
Nikola Jokic scored that 1 point for Nuggets in a 110-99 win over 17-time champions Denver Nuggets at Ball Arena.
Fouled. On the drive.
LeBron James finished with 19 points and Anthony Davis 22, but Lakers remain bottom of the Western Conference.
As Brown blew the layup, not sure what happened there.
Meanwhile, Giannis Antetokounmpo scored for 3 points to help Milwaukee Bucks maintain their 100% start to the season with a thrilling 110-99 victory over Brooklyn Nets.
Repaired back a moment ago, gets it inside, and it's a different kind of...
The Nets led by 12 points in halftime in Milwaukee, but Antetokounmpo scored 17 points in that quarter before Bucks pulled away in 4th and 3rd straight win. King Orimwangi for Channel 1 Sports.
Good to see Coach Budenholzer up walking around.
And to soccer now, Italian side Inter Milan secured their place in the Champions League knockout stage and sent Spanish giants Barcelona into the Europa League with a victory over Victoria Pleasant. Barcelona's fate was already sealed before Xavi's side lost 3-0 to Group C winners Bayern Munich at the Nou Camp. Meanwhile, Liverpool tactician Jurgen Klopp says qualifying for the Champions League knockout phase should never be taken for granted after his side sealed their spot in the last 16.
Into Salah, where was...
Mohamed Salah, Darwin Nunez and Harvey Elliott took leave. Meanwhile, Barcelona hopes to qualify for the UEFA Champions League round of 16, suffered a hit after 3. Elsewhere, Tottenham Hotspur will need at least a draw in Marseille in their final Champions League group. Tonight in UEFA Europa League, Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has called off his side to earn the point required in PSV Eindhoven to finish top of Europa League Group A. The Gunners are already through after winning all 4 matches so far, but Arteta wants to avoid facing playoffs against one of the side knocked out in Champions League.
That's all the time we had for KBC Lunchtime News this Thursday afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of everyone who has made this broadcast a success, I wish you a blessed afternoon. My name is Bentroy Njue, and Susan Thuku has been our sign language interpreter for this live newscast.
Wamwendea wakili kinyume.
Leo mwanao ndio haji kazini na siku nyingi sana hajakuja kazini.
Yaani leo hii mkoa muita mzembe wakati yeye ndo alofanya bidii paka mkapata huyo investor.
Siamini kama Laba anaweza kumwamini huyu mwanamke kiasi